Alrighty, guys, welcome to our daily live session. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're looking at Tuesday, May 30th, 2017, still early in the week. Real quick, guys, I want to talk about this USD-JPY pair. And I apologize, guys, if I'm all over the place tonight. I'm not really feeling like myself right now. So I really apologize, but just to go over USD-JPY, we had our stop loss of 30 pips, and I think it was just a little bit too tight, honestly. It still looks like, it's still definitely very much so valid to the downside. I'm still biased to the downside. We made 20 pips on Monday. We lost 30 pips today, so it's only a 10 pip loss so far for the week, and it's still early in the week. So still looking for some big moves. I would like to get back into a trade on this pair. I'm just trying to figure out, where we're going to get into this trade at. More than likely though, to prevent getting faked out. I really like, my style of trading. I really like breakouts, right? I really like support and resistance to get broken. A lot of people say, why don't we get in sooner, right? Rather than waiting for support to break down here, why don't we get in now? That's always a possibility, but when you have a break of structure, you generally see a continuation in that direction. So I'm going to be definitely looking for cues to be taking this trade, but I am definitely still biased to the downside on USD-JPY. So just looking at the economic calendar real quick, just to backtrack, and then we'll go through all the pairs like we normally do. Coming up in the morning, we have some GDP for CAD, so we aren't going to be trading USD-CAD. And then in the evening, we have some Australian dollar news, which we really haven't been trading the Australian dollar too much, so that doesn't concern us too much. And then we'll look at the rest of the news throughout the week, but definitely keep in mind, Friday we have non-farm payrolls, okay? So if you guys are unfamiliar with non-farm payrolls, if you guys are new to Forex, non-farm payrolls is, I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. I'll talk more about it on, when it comes to tomorrow when we get a little bit closer to it. But it is the most consistent, highest volatile, consistent news report that comes out, meaning that this comes out every single month. Generally, it's the first Friday of every single month. So you guys can see June 2nd. That's the first Friday in June. And it pretty much, I'm not going to go super into it, but it just tells you how many new jobs pretty much are added in the U.S. So that being said, it is a very, very big factor. Also the average hourly earnings and the unemployment rate. All three always come out at the same time all together, and they all have really big effects on the market. It comes out every single month. So, this happens 12 times a year, which is more consistent than really any other type of news that comes out that's really, really volatile. So, we'll speak more on that as the week moves on. But let's go ahead and look at gold. Gold and Euro USD, I really think both are still moving up higher. Gold is really sitting in this pretty significant pivot area, this PRZ area, potential reversal zone, where in the past we saw, resistance in this area. Now we're actually seeing some support being formed in this area. Not only that, right, but this line doesn't just, respect this technical structure most recently, but it also respects this technical structure back in here, right? So we have all types of stuff to be looking at. This is a very significant area. So, in my eyes, when I look at this structure as a whole, I'll show you guys what I see, just so you guys can get an idea of like how my brain is thinking when I'm looking at the charts right here, okay? When I'm looking at the charts right here, I'm looking at all of this. Okay. And I'm looking at three different pieces of this move. I'm seeing the extension. Okay. The breakout, this is where the trend reversed from this very strong downtrend. Okay. Then we had a lot of consolidation. We actually had this really nice W form. And then we have the breakout right here. This is the breakout. This whole move is the breakout. And what we're seeing right now, in my opinion, my view of the markets, is I see this as a retest in the markets, meaning we're retesting this previous resistance that we broke out of, right? We broke it right here. And now you know, it took a while. I know a lot of people were longing in this area because of the bull flag. And I even told you guys, right, I really wanted to buy gold, but I don't like trading gold because it does things like this. It's very volatile. So I'm glad we stayed on the sidelines, because I'm sure there were a ton of people probably buying right up in this area. Once that flag broke, they just thought it was just going to continue moving up. So that being said, give me just a moment, guys. Just a second. Just a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so gold. Okay, we have somebody in the chat room. Juicy, yeah, definitely looks very, very juicy, guys. Now, you know, when there are these perfect setups, you know, sometimes the market isn't going to move in our direction. So it's always, you know, very, very important to practice risk management, guys. You know, if you guys are having trouble, you know, learning risk management, I actually did a specific training. And it's in your guys' back office. If you look in the back office, not going to be this recording, not the last recording, but the third most recent video in the back office it's actually labeled risk management training. So it's only like 15 minutes. It's really very, very effective. So that's that. Okay. So gold, I think, is still moving up higher. So I'll actually adjust this arrow now that we actually can, so you guys can actually see kind of what I'm thinking now. All right, it could potentially be moving up higher towards this trend line, okay? Dollar index, I mean, just look at the dollar index right now. It's got a really nice bear flag on it. Actually, look at that on the daily candle. It's got that really nice bearish engulfing candle. So definitely lots of conviction to the downside. I've been mentioning this for days, right? I've been mentioning that I think, you know, although we're getting we'll get a little bit of a retracement in here. It seems like we went to the 23.6% retracement level. Overall, I think we're still looking at a weaker dollar. All right, Euro USD looks so solid for a buy also. So we're definitely going to be capitalizing on this pair as well. I mean, look at it on the daily. It looks super, super juicy, guys. I mean, we have this very nice exhaustion candle, meaning that, you know, yesterday price was pushed quite far down, but before that daily candle closed, buyers came in and said, nope, we're still in control. We're still moving up higher. So this is also actually completing from our breakout. No, I was seeing if we were looking at a wave on this pair, but we don't have a technical wave on this pair. But overall, you know, we've just have some really nice technicals, just like gold, right? Just like gold pointing to the upside. We have some previous resistance, support. Although we broke it right here, that's definitely a fake out, as we can see on the daily. And now we're seeing some support in this area. So I'm very, very, very interested on Euro USD as well, guys. Okay, so you know, some very solid setups right now. Oh man, look at USD Swiss franc too. USD Swiss franc looks great to the downside as well. Looks like it's just going to be following the dollar index, doing the opposite of Euro USD. So we are definitely going to be capitalizing on these positions, guys. I think I'm going to be calling a buy on Euro USD and most likely another sell on USDJPY. All right. Pound dollar, not really interested in trading this pair right now. It does, you know, have a technical bearish flag. It's struggling to, you know, stay above this previous support, which it actually broke down below, and it's now acting as resistance. You know, I would probably be biased to the downside only because pound dollar has a pretty strong correlation right now to GJ. So if you actually look at the two, you guys kind of see, you know, don't focus on any of this over here. We're more looking at, remember, this is the 4 hour. So anything like this is all relevant information, all relevant data, even if it's only a little bit over here. So look at this structure on pound dollar, right? Look at this structure. We kind of moved towards some highs and then we dropped, and now we have a little bit of consolidation going on. And then let's look at pound yen. All right. So we dropped and then a little bit of consolidation going on. So they have a very strong positive correlation to each other right now. And where I'm going with this is I think GJ is going to continue falling, okay? Because I think USDJPY is going to continue falling. And USDJPY and pound yen, GJ have a positive correlation to each other, meaning that I think pound yen or pound dollar will follow that. So, if that was too fast or too confusing, in a nutshell, I think pound dollar is going to break this support, break this flag, and continue moving lower along with pound yen. I think pound yen still has some moves to go, but not there's such cleaner setups, guys. I mean, you look at the Euro USD setup, you look at even the USDJPY setup, even though we got stopped out on the USDJPY setup, it still is valid for a re-entry, definitely. So pound yen, looking for further downside. All right, and let's go ahead and look at dollar yen. All right, so here's dollar yen for you guys. So Jonathan, I actually threw your trend line that you drew on here just so everybody can kind of see the same thing. So here we have this pretty significant resistance trend line. We actually just saw this past previous hour get respected. These trend lines right here, I know you guys are probably looking at these ascending trend line, these two red trend lines over here, and you're like, what the heck is that? But it makes more sense when you put it on the 4 hour. There you go. You can see that channel that was created that we actually broke out of. And now we've just been really inching our way down. And, this is just really one of those situations where it takes some patience, guys. I mean, let me just show you guys an example right here. Look at the overall market structure of this right here. And then look at the overall market structure of this right here. Kind of looking similar, right? We had a drop. And, I almost say like this is kind of like us selling earlier, right? We thought that if the support was broken, that it was going to continue going down a lot further. And yeah, it did go down, right? We went into profit a little bit, but it did pull back up a little bit before ultimately moving lower. So patience is definitely key with this pair. Looking back on it, I just don't like, especially with a lot of new traders that are in here, a lot of people that are coming in recently that are beginning, like taking their first steps into Forex. I don't like giving huge stop losses. I don't like giving 80 pip stop losses, 90 pip stop losses. Looking back on this trade, we probably would have been a little bit safer having our stop loss somewhere in this area, a little bit above this structure. But looking at that, that's also, from our entry, that's, pushing like 80 pips-ish. So, I'd rather cut our losses short with 30 pips and then get into a better entry and, make, 100 pips, 150 pips on this trade. So that's the goal. I'm just going to delete this just for a second so you guys can actually see on the daily what it looks like. Very clean price action, right? This is yesterday's daily candle. We actually did get the daily candle to close below the 110.95 or the 111 mark. So I do think that there is definitely further downside. So these are some trades to capitalize on today, guys. Make sure, hold on, sorry about that. I want to put that all back. Okay. Make sure you guys capitalize. I mean, when I say make sure, like what I mean is when I give the trade call, make sure you guys aren't, sleeping on them, I mean, whether it's figuratively or literally, right? If you're going to fall asleep or something soon, set an alarm. I'm probably going to be giving a couple trade calls or set your ringer, next to you. But what I mean also is, trust the signal provider. One very important thing, and also to some of you guys new that are taking the trades in the group, is don't cherry pick my trades, right? If you join a signal company, you have to join the signal company and trust that their results are, you have to trust their results. And what I mean by that is if you cherry pick trades, right? You say, oh, I'm not feeling this. Like, you don't trust my analysis. You don't trust my trade. Yeah, sure. You could save yourself a loss, but you could also miss a win. So if you want to get the same results that, we're advertising, the same results that I post, when we close a trade or we do this or that, then make sure you guys trade every trade. And, there are going to be losing trades along the way, right? But if you guys, have noticed, this is our second losing trade in like 3 weeks. So, we had our first losing trade at the end of last week or middle of last week, and then one losing trade this week. And then before those 2 weeks prior, we had like 3 weeks of all quality winning trades. So it's definitely what was that? You see that? It just jumped around. Don't know what happened right there. So let me put that back. That was really weird. Like teleported over there. All right. So Yes, so bearish on USDJPY. I think that there's a lot of further downside. Alexander, you said 330 to 345. What do you mean by that? Maybe I'm missing something. If you could elaborate a little bit on what that number means. All right. AUDUSD, with the AUDUSD news coming out tomorrow, not super interested in trading this pair. I would have to say I'm more bullish on this pair. Kind of interesting. You guys remember I actually drew out this 50% retracement level and said, you know, that's specifically why I didn't want to buy or sell this pair. I want to see what happens in this area. We actually got perfect rejection in this area. I think that the uptrend is going to continue, but we have a lot of obstacles in the way, right? We have, you know, this extension level, right? This retracement level right here. We have this bearish engulfing candle right here. We have this resistance right here. So there's, you know, when you're looking at a trade, if there's too many things, you know, where you might be on the fence, 50-50 can go either way, stay out of the trade, right? If you don't have, you know, some very strong confidence before getting into a trade like we have with EURUSD and USDJPY, or even USD Swiss franc, right? That looks good to the downside as well. Then just stay out of it, right? Look for the quality trades. And then also not only so there are those three technicals in the way on AUDUSD, but there's Australian dollar news tomorrow, which could influence sentiment, meaning, you know, could influence what people are doing during this London and New York session to prepare for that news. So I wouldn't trade it. NZD USD, same thing. I would be on the buy side, right? It does look good for a buy. You know, normally NZD USD and gold have a positive correlation to each other. Also, you know, they in NZD USD and the dollar index have a negative correlation to each other. So if we see the dollar index to continue to fall, like we think it's going to, then we should see NZD USD continue to move up. It looks definitely a lot better than AUD USD. We have a bullish engulfing candle on the daily. We finally broke out of this zone. So I do think we are going to move up towards the 7150 area. But until then, it's just, I hate to sound like a broken record when I'm saying, you know, this looks like a nice buy, but we have this trade right here, this trade right here, and this trade right here, you know, Euro USD, USD Swiss franc, and USD yen, which all look solid, right? They all look great. USDCAD, not even going to touch it right now because of the news coming out in the morning. You know, obviously we would probably be on the buy side more than likely, just because I'm sorry. We'd be more on the sell side because usually USDCAD and gold do the opposite of each other. Now, if we're looking at a sell on USDCAD, then that means that we're wanting to look for a buy on oil, which we aren't really seeing right now. So that's another reason why I want to stay out of USDCAD, is because, you know, oil and CAD tend to have a negative correlation, and you know, oil is moving down right now, so CAD seems to be moving up, which, you know, is moving in correlation positively with gold, which they don't normally do. So if that was too confusing, pretty much just to put it simply, we aren't interested in trading USD CAD right now because of the fundamentals and oil. All right. Oh, 330 to 345, you say is London. Like the London session? Is that what you mean? Or what, like when it opens? Or I guess I'm kind of confused because it depends on where you live. Like for me, London opens in 30 minutes. 330, 345. I'm just trying to think what you mean by that. Trade time. Man, I'm sorry. I'm still lost, my man. What do you mean? Trade time 330. Is 330 to 345 like a time, or is that a number? I'm just confused. And I don't know, like what time zone do you mean, or what happens during that time? Are we talking about maybe some news coming out? Let's go ahead and see. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Let's see. Let's go up. Oh, okay. Maybe you're talking about this, right? That's the only thing I can think about. Maybe 330. Not really sure what you're talking, like what's going on. But I'll do a quick recap if you're able to type something in here. Oh, what's the actual London trading time? So the London session is open for 8 hours. It opens in 30 minutes and it lasts for 8 hours. So, I mean, for me right now, it's midnight to 8 a.m. But it differs all the time. Let me just double check that. I want to make sure I got that right. Forex market hours, because I'm pretty sure it's 8 hours, not 9 hours. I always get a little bit flip-flopped about that. No, I'm right. Yeah, so 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. You guys can even Google this too. If you're confused about like everything, like just go to Forex time zone converter, or just go to Google, type in Forex time zone converter, go put in your time zone, and it literally tells you like if it's green, it's open right now. So, and then if it's not, I mean, it shows you the open and close. So it's super, super simple, guys. I like using that as a little bit of a resource. So yeah, London Open, it lasts for 8 hours. GMT, I don't really know GMT time. I'm not really sure. I think GMT is, because it changes. Where I live, we don't change like the clocks, but a lot around the world, almost everybody like changes their clocks. So we never change our clocks where I live. So it gets kind of confusing where I live, because then London opens like an hour later in the winter. So it's definitely a little confusing. So it's better to kind of figure out, you know, for your individual time zone, or, you know, mine might not make any sense to you guys. So that's it for today. Just a quick recap so you guys are getting the most value out of this. Looking for a Euro USD buy, right? We're looking for a buy. I'm not looking to get into it right away, right? When I'm looking at what I would be looking at is this structure right here. And do you see how all the wicks of these candles kind of all give us kind of like a little kind of like little resistance area? I would say if we can get like a 1 hour above this area, then that's going to give us an opportunity to long. Even more conservatively, you know, we have this zone right here. And so if we break that area, that's even more conviction to the upside. So that trade is looking great. And then of course, always USD Swiss franc does the opposite, right? I don't personally like, you guys can probably tell, you know, I trade Euro USD a lot more than I trade USD Swiss franc, but they do tend to do the opposite of each other. So if you have a soft spot for USD Swiss franc, you like trading it a lot, you know, just so you know, that is going to be a good short in my opinion once the support's broken. And then USDJPY, you know, just one more time, not to talk your guys' ear off, but I believe we were stop hunted. I think ultimately we are looking for, you know, a big move to the downside. And I think we're going to, you know, I think that there is potential to, you know, definitely a further retracement. Also, this is a good opportunity to put in your fib levels too. So I think we're going to pass the 61.8% retracement level personally. Like I think, you know, when we talk about flags, if you guys, you know, are familiar with flags, you guys are versed in flags, you know, the textbook definition for a flag, or the textbook definition way to trade a flag, is that the second extension is going to be equal to the first extension's flag pull up to the consolidation. So if we have the top up here, and then we go to the consolidation right here, okay, you can see where this channel of consolidation started. Let me do something real quick. Let me make this a little bit easier to look at. Let me go like this. Give it a little bit better perspective. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. I'm going to delete these two things too, just so everything makes sense for you guys. All right. So if we're looking at price right here, we're looking at a drop right here. And then you can see the consolidation begins right here. All right. So this is your flag pull. All right. I'll just put FP. So your flag pull is this right here. Now, a common mistake with people that trade flags is they think that this whole move is the flag pull. Technically, the flag pull actually ends where the consolidation begins. So where this consolidation is, this is just the flag pull, the top part. So, and so how do we trade this? Is that means that this move right here is generally supposed to equal the same distance as this move. So if we take out our measuring tool, just so we can get kind of technical in here and see where we might be looking at actual levels at, and we measure from the top of the flagpole to the bottom of the flagpole, and we look at the pips right here, 279.8 pips. All right, so 279 pips. So that means that if we go, so you have to mark off the consolidation, and where the actual flagpole, you know, or where that flag breaks in that continuation, or where it continues, that's where you measure from. So we were what, 279 pips. So let's go ahead and go from, let's say right here. Oh, whoa, wrong thing. Right here, and then we go down 279 pips. So, and you guys can see the price. That's all the way, you know, 108. I mean, it's 279 pips lower. It's all the way down into the mid 108s. So, you know, when we're talking about this, this is just, you know, level target number 1. We may come down to this area and form a double bottom, but that's it, guys. Oh, Alexander, definitely. Yeah. If you want to learn how to use TradingView, there's actually a training video in the back office. If you go and scroll through the videos, it's kind of far back, but if you scroll down, you'll see it. It says how to set up MetaTrader 4 in TradingView. I go over both of them, but really the best way is just go to TradingView and set up a free account. They will give you ads from time to time if you don't have a pro account. I think it's worth it. It's like $10 a month or something. But they have all these amazing, it's basically MetaTrader 4 on steroids. You can't actually place any trades on TradingView, but so I always, you can see MetaTrader 4 I have down here. So I always go back into MetaTrader 4 to place my trade, of course. But, you know, to do all my analysis, it's really cool. It's all web-based. It's really nice, you know, like, you know, if I'm on my desktop and, you know, there's some charts that I need to mark up, you know, if I'm going to go onto my laptop or something, I can, you know, open up TradingView and I have the same thing because it's all web-based. Or if I don't have any of my computers, I'm somewhere where I just don't have my computer and I need to, you know, do some analysis or something, I can hop on any computer, you know, that has internet and I can log in and access my charts. You know, I just can't take any trades off, you know, TradingView, which is kind of a bummer. That'd be cool in the future to see, you know, FX. There's a couple brokers that do partner with them, so you can actually buy and sell right from here, but FX Choice or, you know, the brokers that we recommend are not in there. So yeah, that's TradingView. So that's that, guys. That's all I have for you guys tonight. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay tuned for some trade calls. And other than that, guys, have a wonderful evening. See you guys later.